Holy shit. He said what?
Many people doubt Meghan has long been a mother. Following her attendance at Northwestern University, Meghan began dating Joe Giuliano, and the couple got married after having a child when Meghan was almost 20.
What?
Joshua Silverstein was her very first boyfriend. They were both only 13.
You know, I think as she told it, she approached me.
According to reports, Noelle was born in or around 1999, which fits the timeline perfectly. Given her appearance, Noelle does share some similarities with Joe and Meghan, and she's even more like Meghan.
Imagine creating your whole image as the royal family's rebel princess, only for people online to find an old rumor that you may have been keeping a secret daughter hidden for 30 years.
Meghan was researching the prince online and found out that the prince is now duped, so I can now go ahead and marry him. At that stage, Meghan
Markle doesn't just have secrets hidden away, she has a whole baby story in there. And while she is busy giving interviews about finding her voice and crying about being silenced, people are out here asking, "Girl, where was your voice when you were said to be secretly signing annulment papers in Vegas?" Because, let's be honest, if Meghan's life was a Netflix show, the tagline would be new season, same lies, different prince. Every year, there's another leak, another scandal, another chapter in the world's messiest royal drama. And this time, it's not about crowns, not about titles. It's about a child that no one was ever supposed to know existed.
I remember when she was born, big new addition to the family, and we just have a very young sister here.
Thomas Jr. was 14 when Meghan came into the world.
The official story says she took a gap year to find herself. Sure, but instead of traveling in Europe, the rumors say she was walking down the aisle saying "I do" to Joe Giuliano. And then, 9 months later, boom. Talk of a baby girl. And the wildest part is, Prince Harry was said to have no idea.
Very clear to me at the time that, we were together, I would say. Yeah, she had a very clear idea of where she wanted her path to take her.
So here's the thing. Meghan Markle's official story has a big hole in it. The kind of hole you don't cover with excuses, you cover with lies and sealed court papers. After finishing high school in 1994, the story says, Meghan decided to take a gap year before college. Sounds nice, right? Traveling, learning about herself, eating ice cream in Italy. But there's just one problem. No one can prove anything about where she really was. No travel tickets, no photos, no friends remembering fun adventures, nothing. Just Meghan's word, which at this point has the trust level of a used car salesman with a fake license.
At the time, that we were together, it's what kids did, right? So she told her friends she liked me, I told my friends I liked her, and then our friends met, and then they kind of arranged it, and then we became girlfriend and boyfriend.
Instead of traveling around Europe with a backpack, rumors say she was putting on a wedding dress in Las Vegas, secretly marrying her teenage boyfriend. And honestly, doesn't that sound way more like the Meghan we know today? The queen of doing whatever it takes suddenly vanishes for 12 months. And all we get is the vaguest excuse ever. Please, that gap year looks less like finding herself and more like covering up something. And here's the shocking part. If that missing year really did involve a baby, then Meghan didn't just take a gap year, she took a gap child.
Hi, Daddy. I got an English award.
But wait, this story goes even deeper. Let's talk about Las Vegas, the city where bad choices aren't just made, they're lit up in neon signs forever. And according to rumors, Meghan Markle wasn't there for slot machines or cheap food. Nope, she was said to be walking down a budget aisle to marry Joe Giuliano, her teenage boyfriend. Not exactly royal castle level, but hey, Meghan has always been good at moving up in life. This wasn't some fancy celebrity wedding either. Just 2 family witnesses, a courthouse, and boom, they were married. Except not really, because the marriage lasted about as long as a free hotel drink coupon.
And right now we're in Beverly Hills, and we're gonna pass the Beverly Hilton Hotel, where I'll be on Sunday meeting the other
Months later, an annulment was filed. And here's where things get suspicious. The record was sealed in Las Vegas, a city where you can still dig up Elvis-themed divorces from the 70s. But somehow Meghan's paperwork is locked away like it's a national secret. Why? What was so shocking that officials slammed the door shut on her teenage love life? It definitely wasn't because they cared about her privacy. Vegas courts don't give out secrecy like party favors. Unless, of course, those papers had something that could destroy the perfect self-made Duchess story she would be selling years later. And believe me, this wedding was just the first part of the chaos. Here's where Meghan's gap year story really starts to fall apart. Because whispers don't just talk about a teenage wedding, they talk about a pregnancy. Yes, that's right. While the official story paints her as a young woman traveling the world, the rumors say she was dealing with something far less glamorous. A baby bump. By the middle of 1995, the story goes, Meghan had a daughter. Not a rumor about college. Trips. Not a vague story about self-discovery. But a whole child. And instead of admitting it, she was said to have handed the baby over to the Giuliano family like she was dropping off laundry. Raised quietly. No adoption papers, no public mention. Just erased from Meghan's polished story like she never existed.
Contact Joe told him that, look, if you open your mouth, I'm gonna sue you.
And let's be honest, doesn't this sound exactly like Meghan's pattern? Reinvent, erase, repackage. One moment she's a Hollywood extra, next she's a royal duchess, one moment there's a husband and maybe a baby, next she's cleaning. The record's spotless. The Giuliano family was said to have raised that little girl in silence. Meanwhile, Meghan went off to Northwestern to rebrand herself as the perfect young star with no baggage. But secrets can only stay hidden for so long, and this one just turned 30. If the rumors are true, Meghan Markle didn't just walk away from a teenage marriage, she walked away from her own child. The Giuliano family, by all accounts, were traditional, private, and valued family and stability. Meghan, on the other hand, valued escape routes. So the supposed deal was made. The Giulianos would raise the baby, and Meghan would disappear into her shiny, baggage-free new life. No papers, no adoption, no official record. Just a quiet trade-off. Like a business deal no one wanted to admit. And that's the part that feels so typical of Meghan. Every part of her story seems to have someone vanish. Friends disappear, family gets cut off, relationships end in ruins. So why would motherhood be any different? If a baby got in the way of her big dreams of acting and social climbing, she'd treat it the same way she treats everyone else who stops being useful. Erase, block, and act like they never existed.
Meghan, she loved me. I'm a hero. And suddenly I was thrown out.
Meanwhile, the Giulianos were left holding the reality Meghan didn't want. They raised a child kept out of the public eye while Meghan walked off to college like her record was spotless. But secrets don't stay hidden forever. And this one could destroy the royal image she has held onto. Now, here's where Meghan's little Las Vegas story goes from messy to very suspicious. A teenage marriage is embarrassing, sure, but an annulment so secret it's been sealed tighter than Buckingham. Palace during a scandal? That's not normal. In Vegas, you can find dirt on anyone. Old rock stars, half-drunk Elvis weddings, even celebrities who wish their quickie divorces could vanish. But Meghan Markle's annulment is locked up like it's hiding national secrets. And let's be real. Courts don't seal marriage records just because someone changed their mind. They seal them when there's something huge, something they don't want anyone to ever see. So, what was Meghan hiding? Was it that she wasn't the innocent Northwestern freshman she claimed to be? Or maybe that annulment came with an extra detail? A baby born right in the middle of it all? Think about it. Meghan's whole brand is built on being real. Endless talks about her truth, her struggles, her journey. Yet the one chapter that could explain everything about her drive and her carefully planned image is the exact one she spent years erasing. And the irony is, the more she talks about honesty, the clearer it becomes. Her past is like a locked vault full of ghosts, and this ghost story isn't done haunting her yet.
He wiped out all kind of pictures, communications with Joe.
By the time Meghan Markle walked onto Northwestern's campus, you'd think she had fallen from the sky. A brand new identity, a polished smile, no baggage at all. It was like watching someone restart their whole system. No teenage marriage, no annulment, no rumors of a baby, just Meghan, the actress in training, pretending the past never happened. This wasn't reinvention. It was more like witness protection without the government deal. Let's not sugarcoat it. She wasn't just a bright-eyed freshman chasing dreams. This was a planned restart. Meghan didn't just step away from the Giuliano family, she erased them from her story. Gone, like they were background extras cut out of the final film. She showed up at college selling the image of a free-spirited traveler. But the truth? Her so-called gap year had more red flags than a palace scandal report, and people believed it. Professors, classmates, casting directors, everyone. bought the new version without asking what she was hiding. Meghan's whole rise began with one lie stacked on another until her story was built on smoke. But smoke always fades, and what's left behind is rarely pretty. Meghan thought she was clever. Wipe the past clean, swap it for a shiny new script, and hope nobody notices the missing chapters. But secrets always leak, and in her case, they slipped out slowly, like water from a broken faucet. Friends of the Giuliano family couldn't stay silent forever. Over the years, little hints came out. Always vague, always careful, but always the same storyline. Meghan's past wasn't as clean as she wanted people to believe. And here's the shocking part. Too many whispers started matching. Different people, different places, but the same story. A teenage wedding, a hidden baby, a sealed annulment. That's not random. That's a pattern. And if there's one thing Meghan can't control, it's other people's memories. She can cut off family, block old friends, and erase anyone who doesn't fit her story. But she can't rewrite the whispers floating around like smoke after a fire. The more she climbed in Hollywood, the royals, and the spotlight, the louder those whispers became. Every new headline about Meghan speaking her truth only made people more curious about the truth she never talks about. And that truth has a 30th birthday attached to it. Now we've reached the part Meghan Markle must fear the most, the calendar. Because if the rumors are true, that hidden daughter isn't a ghost of the past anymore. She's a grown woman, 30 years old, with her own voice, her own power, and nothing stopping her from stepping into the light. One headline, one interview, one DNA test. That's all it would take to flip Meghan's carefully built rebel royal story into a warning about lies, ambition, and abandonment. Think about it. Meghan built her empire on telling her version of events. She cried on primetime TV. She painted herself as the victim silenced by the royals. But what happens if the person she allegedly silenced first, her own daughter, decides she's done being invisible? That's not just a PR issue. That's destruction. For 30 years, Meghan has allegedly kept this chapter locked up, betting silence and sealed records would hold forever. But time doesn't stay quiet. Children grow, secrets grow sharper, and if this daughter speaks, it won't just damage Meghan's image, it could completely destroy the royal brand she clung to. And the best part? Meghan won't control the story this time. She's spent years selling the world a polished image. But polish can't cover cracks this deep. A missing year that doesn't. Makes sense. A Vegas annulment sealed like it holds nuclear secrets. Rumors of a daughter that may not be a rumor at all, but a 30-year-old reality waiting to be seen. Meghan can play the victim. She can spin interviews and documentaries. But none of that erases the questions chasing her past. The silence isn't power, it's fear. Fear that the story she buried will step into the spotlight and tear down everything she built. Because no matter how carefully Meghan writes her version, the truth always finds a way out. And when it does, it won't just bruise her reputation. It will crush the entire image she worked so hard to protect. You can run from critics, you can dodge headlines, but you can't outrun blood. This isn't a fairy tale, it's a countdown. And when the clock runs out, Meghan won't be the one telling the story anymore.